G'day.
Hi,
Welcome to this, the inaugural episode of Musicology For The Inept. My name's Greg, and I'm
the
joined
first
today by
time.
my co-host Jules.
Probably not the last.
We've got a
but
great
let's
guest
hope
on
it's
today,
more
Melbourne
enjoyable
electro
than
artist John Von Ahlen.
We'll be talking
He'll
with
be
Mr.
talking
John
to us
Von
about
Ahlen,
how
very
he
well known
manages an
overseas
international artist
and
how he's getting through this time of COVID.
We will be singing.
We'll be having a bit of a
we
sing-along
will
at
be
the end as well,
laughing,
which should be a lot of fun.
We will be
So
crying
stick with us
on the
first
episode of
Musicology For The Inept.
Hi folks, welcome to Musicology with. We had this in episode 1. My name is John Von Ahlen.
You're Greg and you're Julian. Right?
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us on Musicology For The Inept. I'm Jules.
I'm Greg.
And this would be the fabulous,
John,
the inimitable...
John Von Ahlen from Parralox. Das ist Fritz und this is meine kleine Hund. His name is Jack.
Welcome.
Jack just had 5 teeth removed last week, so he's feeling a little bit sulky.
So feeling a little bit sulky. John, why Australia when you, external of Australia, have the kind of success you have and the reach you have when Australia seems potentially limited for your style of music, electro, synth pop, relatively dark synth pop at times?
I was born and bred in Melbourne, Australia, and I've got lots of roots here musically and financially and family and friends and that sort of things.
Are you about to put it on me, Johnny? I'll go against the family.
So yeah, look, I'm a Melbourne boy. I've always done what I've done from Melbourne. Didn't seem to have any impact on whether you were successful or you had reach overseas or not. And I've had fellow contemporaries who have been in bands and stuff who have actually made the move to go to Berlin and New York or whatever, go overseas and find a lot of success. But they've gone 100% full on into it.
Yeah.
Get a career going, and it's happened for a little while, but then it fizzles out, you know what I mean? But that's music, nothing really lasts forever.
I was going to say, that's indicative of the kind of burnout you can get in the industry if you're going
obviously there's a lot of
furiously
factors for that in terms of your own personal motivation and if you're a solo actor, if you're in a band and if there's dynamics. So I've got financial commitments in Melbourne as well in terms of stuff that I do outside of the band. I've got a weekend job. I'm into a bit of property and stuff, so I'll manage that.
You really are going to put a hit out on me. I'm going to end up at the bottom of one of your gardens. Hello, and welcome to Vocabulary with MFTI.
Vocabulary.
Our first word of the day is foliage.
Foliage.
The next word is irregardless.
Irregardless.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
For the inept.
I started off my music career like in the early 80s, and that was sort of all Melbourne based, and it's continued to be so. And then obviously with the advent of the internet, I haven't really needed to. When I started off in the early days, like as soon as the internet started, I was right on top of it. Did the unofficial website for the Human League, and through that, getting to know people all around the world. And it's funny how things have come full circle, both in the terms of the people that I met through that website and how still I'm in contact with them years later, one of them being Ian Burden from the Human League.
Indeed.
On the website, I created a section called Members. Be someone from Mexico and someone from Russia and China and Japan and, oh, you like Human League too? Not realising there's like thousands of people across the world with similar interests, creating like a global community.
Awesome.
And through that, getting to know people who ran music blog. It's pretty much networking, you know what I mean? From there, I established like a global network around the world, and then sort of all my musical projects since then have sort of tapped into that. And then obviously now with the internet, there's no such thing as borders anymore. Those days are gone.
A tiny world made even tinier. Yeah.
Given that technology is so important in getting your music out to your audience, and also in terms of producing your music, is that something that you enjoy for its own sake, or are you a gearhead?
Yes. Growing up as a kid, my dad was fully into technologies. He had a little bungalow at the back full of electronics and ham radios and stuff, and he'd talk to people all around the world. I remember in grade 6, he bought me one of those Tandy Dick Smith sort of kit things.
Fun way into electronics.
Yeah. So you sort of connect this spring core to that battery and connect that battery to the light switch and
plastic grid plates where
so you press a button and you've made a light switch, or you can make a radio. Anyway, from there, I guess I was always into technology, and then my mother and dad, to a certain degree, listened to a lot of music. So I grew up with technology and I grew up with music. And I remember hearing Kraftwerk, the Human League. I remember thinking, if you get technology and put it together with music, this is what it sounds like. I'm a massive sci-fi fan as well.
Yes, you are.
So to me, it's like sci-fi, technology and music going all together. That was pretty much it.
I'm jumping on the Jane bandwagon here.
So Jane Badler is, she was an American actress. She now lives in Australia. She was in a seminal cult TV classic called V, The Visitors, back in the 80s. There's that famous scene where she's eating the rat and her throat goes down. So that was one of my favourite sci-fi shows. I think about 4 years ago, a record label in Britain that I was working with said, we've got a singer wanting to go into like some synth style music. Would you be interested in producing her? Her name's Jane Badler. And I'm like, I know who that is. Yes. We ended up doing 4 songs for her EP, which didn't get released for whatever reason. But when I was doing my Subculture album, I was listening to the songs that I'd done with Jane, and I rang her up and I said, look, the songs that we've done, are pretty good. Do you mind if I use one of them on the album? And she said yes. And that song is called Tears of Faith. So we're actually a few weeks away from shooting a music video for Tears of Faith.
Gotcha.
It'll feature myself and Jane Badler, and without giving away too much of the concept, I'll just say Frankenstein.
Is in it.
That's the only word I'll say. Frankenstein and reanimation.
Yeah, but tell me I can't see bolts coming out of your neck, like right now.
No bolts out of my neck.
Oh, boo.
When you see it, that boo will turn into a yay.
Oh, okay,
so, yeah.
all right. Hello. This is Greg. Greg writes code for a living. Greg finds himself shunned by society. The very society that relies on his inordinate level of skill to do what he does. For just $3 a day, you too can shun Greg like the syphilitic parasite he is and prevent more of his kind coming into this world with fucking attention.
So I've got a radio show on Joy 94.9. It's called Neon Nights. We're on every Saturday, and we've been going for about 5 or 6 years, and we've interviewed, like, name an 80s superstar, we've interviewed them. So, like,
Greg.
What?
You just haven't found it yet.
So we've interviewed everybody, like Danny Minogue, Pointer Sisters, Lamal, Midua, Peter Hook, Martika, Paul Lukhurst, Billy Ray Martin, buttload of people.
Point of order, sir. Adam, your manager.
Adam Reinhardt is my manager. He's based in Hollywood, California.
And in his email, he has in brackets,
Oh.
Paul Lukhurst.
Okay, so Paul Lukhurst, boom, boom, boom.
Let's go.
Adam, my manager, also manages Paul. I also found out a few months ago that Adam also managed frickin' Chuck Mangione. That horn trumpet play from America. Do you watch King of the Hill?
My name's Julian.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
He's a very famous, not here, a very famous
Not immediately
trumpet
here.
player from America.
Oh, the amount of drive you have for what you do and your work ethic is clearly being supported by your management.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
it's clearly working. Talk about it a little.
One thing that never ceases to amaze me is how people sort of say, oh, you're so productive, you make so much stuff. When in my head, I feel like I'm a lazy. Anybody who's in a band or makes music or who's in the biz knows that it's not just simply the actual making of the song. There's all the other tedious social media, the logistics. You've got the graphic side, you've got the website.
I'm reassured that you find it tedious.
Mondays is my social media day, and sometimes Tuesdays.
So you get it the hell out of the way,
Yeah,
and you can
then-
move into the rest of your
but
week.
Even then, it's still like you've got to do it like 5-6 days a week. So
Consistency of it.
I've got somebody in New York who does it for me as well. We use like a lot of automated social media
Good.
posts, but I mean that's part of the business today. You can't
True.
just
You will go mental if you don't automate
Yeah.
them. It will
exactly.
soak
And
up all
that's
your
been a
time.
blessing as well.
With the way the algorithm works now, you essentially constantly have to churn stuff out, right? Or you just disappear.
It's been a fine balance between overexposure, giving people what they want, and you could be like the Human League and release one album 20 years.
Yeah.
Or you could be like me and release a new song every week, which is what I've been doing for a couple of months now, only because we've just done the Travelogue album. Instead of just releasing an album, release the album, you've got 8 or 12 songs on there, it gets released, everybody's excited about it for a month, and then it disappeared. I kind of think to myself, how freaking insane am I to release an album with so many good songs, because I believe in the stuff I do. Why didn't I split that up into 2 albums? But I'm kind of like, my motto is life is short, strike while the iron's hot, do what the fuck you can now, because tomorrow is too late, you know what I mean? Like,
we're all going to die soon.
So, and
cheery message for the folks at home.
Yeah, no, because I work in healthcare on the weekends too, and because I was exposed to like death at a very young age, it gave me a really good perspective on life. Is so short and so precious and fragile. You could drop dead tomorrow. What's your legacy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just being a musician, but also as a person as well. I've always had that sort of drive to sort of, you know, get shit done. And it's sort of funny when you compare your own motivation levels to other people as well. So my point was, when you release an album, it's got 10 or 12 awesome songs, you release it, it's out there, and boom, it's disappeared. And I thought, there's got to be a better way to do this. I've seen other people, what they'll do is just say it's a 10-track album. They'll release 1 track each week and sort of drip feed it, focus on that song, and do the same thing.
Provide the push for that, let it die out naturally, and then you've already got the other 9 recorded that you can keep doing the consistent drip feed with.
Because of COVID, having a lack of access to all the people that I would normally work with overseas, that's why I said to my manager, look, I want to do this vanity project Travelogue, like the Human League's second album. So then I thought, I love them so much and I love stealing ideas, because that's what good artists do. So we released a 6-track EP in 2014 called Holiday 14, and we've been doing that every year since.
Yes.
And so as part of that holiday series, and that generally comes out in December at the end of the year, I'll be like, shit, it's December 1st, I better get a move on with this album.
Christ, better do Festivus.
I'll be like,
quick single!
Another one of my mottos is all the work while crying. Now, if you go to Google and type in all the work while crying, that's me. If we release 1 song every week and make it known that that's what's going to happen, then the fans, know that they've got 17 or 16 weeks of releases to look forward to. We've got an excuse to talk about ourselves for like 16 weeks, you know, because obviously in a band you need to self-promote. And we've actually got a full release slate for 2022, and I don't even know if we'll be able to release everything that we want to release. Like, we've got the Jane Badler Tears of Faith video that we're going to shoot very, very soon. Goodbye Berlin video, which is pretty much shot. We just need to go through and fine tune that. I think I wouldn't mind getting up and coming talent to remix that as well. Then the other plan is a song we did called Aeronaut back in 2000 and whatever it was, something.
Don't test me. I'm in front of you and my brain's turned to crap.
The fans can find out. You can tell me what year Aeronaut was released in 2000 and something.
Somebody
So Aeronaut
research. Google whack.
Very first video I did for Aeronaut, which is this psychedelic space octopus.
Sorry?
That was the video for Aeronaut, which nobody has ever seen, but I showed it again to Mark, and he's like, dude, this is trippy as fuck. So the band's been around for like 14 years now. I think we can afford to maybe re-release a few old singles.
And why not? You've got a receptive audience.
Yeah, so the
the
plan is to do Aeronaut 2022 and Somebody 2022, along with Goodbye Berlin and Tears of Faith. Now that's like 4 singles. We might not get to release everything this year. Also coupled with the fact that I've written probably 2 albums worth of original material as well.
Yeah.
So I'm itching to get back to the new original material. So
I can't blame you. Like, you must feel as though you spend a lot of time kind of peddling your own hamster wheel on what you've already created, which would make you feel as though you're abandoning your access to new ideas a lot of the time.
You know, a few people have like, oh, you've just done a covers album and you do that Holiday 14 thing every year. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a musician, I make music, and I'm not too prissy to worry about whether it's my song or somebody else's song. And at the end of the day, I had so much fun making Travelogue, and like you can see, if you go to social media, people are like, oh, do Dare next, or do Penthouse and Pavement next, and it's like, you know.
Well, yeah, but.
Yes, but I could see myself doing Dare and Hysteria, but probably not for another 3 or 4 years, because I want to sort of focus more on the original material again.
I think.
And doing that sort of stuff you do because it's fun, you know what I mean? And it's like it's a vanity project, and it's because you know the absolute nerd, geek, Human League fans are just going to blow a gasket when they hear that stuff. And I mean,
Especially having been pent up for a while, they're
yeah, and
a little tetchy.
And I think it's good too because the songs in their original form are mind-blowing, and I thought it's a nice way to actually bring those songs up to date and give them new clothes and let audiences hear them in a new sort of way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shithouse Band.
For the inept.
Is there much of a long tail thing going on? Do you find people still pick up the older stuff?
Going back to the social media thing, as part of that social media strategy I mentioned before, we make a point to actually promote those early original songs so people can hear the older stuff and the new stuff as well. I'm getting thirsty now.
I'm getting gag reflex.
I thought you would have conquered that a long time ago, Julian.
You tripped over a doozy. I want to pick it up. Death. Oh, no, death is down here.
You know, I certainly don't believe in product placement, but nothing tastes as fresh as water coming out of a Musicology For The Inept cup.
Don't make eye contact with me now. He's fingering my mug. Oh, no, he's actually fingering Greg's mug.
All right, sorry. Let's get serious again. What were you saying?
Death.
Death. If you're okay talking about it, you mentioned earlier that you'd had some quite early exposure to death in your life.
When I was very, very young, my uncle got very, very ill very quickly, and he ended up in ICU, and I was there as a very young boy, and it was obviously quite confronting. And then having a very close friend pass away at a very early age sort of makes you take stock of life. And my mother worked in a nursing home as well, so she worked in the kitchen there, so I'd go there after primary school and sit in the window, and then they'd be wheeling past this trolley, and I'm like, what's that? And she's like, oh look, somebody just passed away. And then I was kind of curious about what happened with the bodies, and then they ended up showing me the morgue. I think everybody processes death in a different way, or doesn't. But I think it was beneficial for me because it gave me sort of a perspective on life, and we don't have very long on this planet, you know what I mean? So the simple message is look after yourself and look after other people. And it's funny how many people I encounter in life who don't experience death until like very late in life, and I'm talking, you know, in their 30s or 40s or 50s, and then they just completely fall apart, they freak out, they get PTSD, they can't process it.
It's quite a recent phenomenon as well, the idea that people wouldn't be familiar with death, right? It's, for a lot of history, you would have just seen it day to day.
I think like working in healthcare, you're obviously exposed with that, you know, really mortal
you have
side.
no
So
option.
on a weekly basis, I see people pass away, you know, so it really gives you a really good handle on mortality and appreciating your very, very short time on this earth. So make hay while the sun shines, you know what I mean?
You work frontline health. You guys who are at the forefront tend to be cynical pragmatists by the nature of what you do and what you pass through in your professional field. How full is your empathy bucket, John?
The patients that we have, the majority, I have a lot of empathy for. Where it becomes tough is where you have family and visitors and relatives who might not behave in the most appropriate fashion.
Describe?
When they are educated by Dr. Google and question the doctor's practice and nurses' practice, these doctors have trained for like 10, 15, 20 years plus. They're experts. Nursing staff have trained for like many years. If you think some little magic water is going to fix your relative, then why are you here in the hospital? When people are unwell, it's the illness, not the person.
We all love the music of Queen, but for Jules, the band holds a special significance. At a point in his own life when he was at a musical crossroads, their anthemic rock stylings and rich harmonies helped to inspire his own insipid warblings. Here he is with Bohemian Rhapsody.
let's frame Change of Heart, which you're going to see us perform shortly over yonder. Who are you pointing that at, dear?
Oh God, I've got to think of the lyrics now.
A conscience on the run, it doesn't seem like very fun, but the child inside of you, it seems to share a different view, and many different men have acted shameful in the past, but when karma takes a bite,
you'll see that I'm
right, maybe.
So a lot of the songs I write in my sleep. So have a look here. Like, so I'll literally wake myself up, ramble on. These are all song ideas.
Bob's Burgers.
That's not a song idea.
No, that's right.
That's a sound effect in the show that I wanted to sample. Sharper Than a Knife was written like that. In my dream, I can actually hear a song and then wake myself up.
I get that. And I fucking lose them all the time.
And it's really
drives me
annoying
nuts.
when you're in the dream and you're like, this is such a good song.
Yes.
And you enjoy it too much, and then you know you've realised you've lost that moment where it's too late to wake
And
yourself up.
it's gone, and you are never seeing that song
and you
again.
know, you kind of know in the dream, you're like, I'm making a big mistake because this is a really good song. It might be, or it might be complete shit, but it doesn't matter.
Right now, it's brilliant.
You know, once you've reached that point and you don't wake yourself up, you've basically said to yourself, that song is gone, and I'm not going to remember it. And I think any songwriter will know emotional pain and turmoil is gold. When life is going nicely, it's a bit boring in terms of being a songwriter.
Yeah, well, considering you write in synth pop and electro, how do you balance that juxtaposition of life is dandy as far as the music and the structure is
The
concerned?
songs themselves have got nothing to do with synth pop. They just happen to be produced as synth pop.
How everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to leave in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart.
But for me, the song is first and foremost. Before Parralox, as you know, I was in many different bands and we did many different musical genres and styles.
We shared a band for a while, unknowingly.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't get to...
No, we do Wonder Twin Powers Activate.
Oh. Dog moment.
Oh.
You're showing your good side to the camera, Jack?
Oh, yeah. If you haven't already told, I love this little creature to death, and Fritz
Loves
to a
this
certain degree.
He's too dumb to know what's going on, aren't you, my darling?
Yeah,
Fritz, how do you feel about being dumb?
Now, he's got 2 brain cells, come
Fritz.
on. They go bing,
Fritz,
bing, bing.
titty rub.
Please give it up for Mr. John Von Ahlen of Parralox for appearing on Musicology for the Inept today, if you wouldn't mind.
Thanks very much, John.
And once again, thank you, Julian, and thank you, Greg, and my very shivery dog, Jack, who's a bit cold, so
We'll do
maybe we can warm him up.
With a change of heart. Fabulous for the ladies at home.
I can't shake the feeling. You keep me believing Monday was a brand new start, and you played your part. It won't be long till you sing the song. Time will mend a broken heart, and I can make a brand new start. And so maybe I don't know if I really believe it, how everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to believe in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart. Don't know the feeling. You stopped me believing Tuesday with a broken heart, and I played the part. It won't be long till you sing the song, and time will mend a broken heart, and I can make a brand new start. And so maybe I don't know if I really believe it, how everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to believe in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart. Conscience on the run, it doesn't seem like very fun, but the child inside of you, it seems to share a different view. And many different men have acted shameful in the past, but when karma takes a bite, you'll see that I am right. Maybe I don't know if I really believe it, how everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to believe in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart. I don't know if I really believe it, how everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to believe in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart. I don't know if I really believe it, how everything is falling apart. Maybe it was time to believe in, 'cause I guess you had a change of heart.
80s finish.
Oh, yeah.
Toilet Chain of Love. Mr. John Van Ahlen of Parralox on Musicology for the Inept. 1, 2, set!
We've covered Change of Heart there. The other song playing to do with you today is Electric Dreams. We get an idea about how that hits home for you, what sort of history you might have.
Well, that's kind of like shitting fish in a barrel.
Shitting fish in a barrel?
Shooting. Well, obviously, my two main bands are the Human League.
You were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar, working in a cocktail bar.
And Depeche Mode.
All I wanna do is see you. Don't you know that it's true?
Amongst many, many others. Philip Oakey, obviously being a massive Donna Summer and disco fan, released Together in Electric Dreams in 1985.
We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams.
And that was a co-production with Giorgio Moroder, and I think he literally went to Munich and recorded in the studio for like a day or two and just banged them out. I think the lead song from the soundtrack of the movie of the same name, Together in Electric Dreams, the song is attributed to the Human League now, and they pretty much do it in all their shows.
Have you heard about how he feels about that song now in the context of whatever it was he was going through then?
I haven't spoken to him personally, but from everything I've read in articles, I think he finds it an absolute gift and an honour and a privilege that he could actually record with Giorgio Moroder.
I know, right?
And the fact that the song was so successful, I mean, what's not to like? If you record a song and people are talking about it 25 years later, God, we should all be so lucky, so yeah. So it's very apt that we're doing Together in Electric Dreams, because it's Philip Oakey, Giorgio Moroder. You've got an amazing vocalist, amazing songwriter, amazing producer. I mean, what's not to like?
How do you relate it to Retroset? No, not those eyes, Greg. I just got from him.
I'm not sure where you're going.
This is where we're getting the guest whiplash moment.
Oh, yeah. The song is mind-blowing. It's just one of those eternally good pop songs. I mean,
Insanely
there's not
good.
much more to say about it. It's an awesome song.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And enduring. Well, given that, we should probably go do the thing. I'm not even staring into the camera. Feel like going on the piano, mate?
Why not?
John Van Ahlen, we would like to thank you very much for being
Thank you
here
so much, Julian.
on MFTI with us.
Greg,
Thank you very much, John.
1, 2, set!
See, Jackie, wasn't that good? Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the glorious, the inimitable Mr. John Van Ahlen of Parralox.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on MFTI with us today, sir.
We're here with Musicology for the Inept, and accompanying me on piano we have Julian and the fabulous Greg on sax.
That's me.
And our two hidden backing vocalists.
One of whom is lollygagging his tongue at me.
It's a little bit cold.
Oh, yeah. It's a cold Melbourne summer. Maybe this will warm his heart. And his tongue. Like it's warmed mine. Let's say it has.
I only knew you for a while. I never saw your smile till it was time to go away. Time to go away. Though it's hard to recognize, love comes as a surprise, but then it's too late. It's just too late to stay. It's too late to stay. we'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. Because the friendship that you gave has taught me to be brave. No matter where I go, I'll never find a better prize. Find a better prize. And though you're miles and miles away, I see you every day. I don't have to try, I just close my eyes. I close my eyes. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. Mr. John Von Ahlen
Thank you. Amazing.
of Parralox.
That was fun.
Thanks, mate. Oh, look. Here comes Greg. Hey, mate. How you going?
All right.
What have we got coming up on today's show?
Well, on today's show we have a guest, John Von Ahlen, Melbourne musician. He's,
Quite the electro thing.
he is. A very popular electro thing.
Yeah. You know that sax solo you haven't done yet because the show hasn't run?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it,
That's
yes.
going to be airy.
For an airy meaning air escaping and lots of harmonics.
I think you're still describing us rather than the sax solo that has not happened yet because we're back announcing ourselves.
In theory there'll be one, and hopefully it'll go well.
We played together in No, we are to play together in Electric Dreams.
We are,
From
we
all
are.
intentions, we don't know what's actually happening yet because the show hasn't happened.
That's right.
But I've got a much better idea.
Yeah.
Can we play ourselves off? Or on?
we'd probably
We're playing
better.
ourselves on.
We'll play ourselves
I'm
on, yes.
confused. Let's go.
Musicology. Musicology. Musicology for the inept.
See you next time. That was the most confused thing. We did both. We back announced it, introed it, and we treated it like we were closing the show. I am now confused. This is the end of the show. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thanks everybody.
Thank you very much.
For the inept.
Off the balls, get off there. All right, can we go another one, please? Mother had some fuck up.
Don't get enough.
Oh my gosh, excuse me. Well, that was special.
Special as in you smashed it out of the park? Or
Special with an SH.
all good on set?
Yeah.
Sean Barlett, interview. We bob up and down. Take one. Oh.
Can you not make eye contact while you're making that noise, please?
I heard something.
Thank you! Musicology for the Inept. Yeah. Some awkward eye contact, if you please.
I can do that.
No, you can't. 75 more of these fuckers. For the Inept! Spattle. There was a... Shut the fuck up, it's more difficult than it looks. It's like trying to find an eagle in a haystack. PTSD in 3, 2... On the first episode, can I have a little more length from you?
Alright.
Okay.
Take one.
No, you will see me do 3, 2, 1 for your cue.
Knees. Perfect.
Clapping on.
What the Are we rolling?
Rolling.
Alpha! Oh. You're right direction, continue now.
That's all? That's it?
Thank you. Good night. Thank you, buddy. I think we got it.